Hello everybody, Thomas Hadley here, and I just finished listening to Complaint by Watsky, and that's his newest album, 2019, and he produced it, and it was a self-release. This basically is a kind of sad, dark adventure from the beginning of a relationship or meeting this person and wanting to be in a relationship to the end of their relationship, basically. And so I'm gonna just go through a list of things that I thought about the album, and I'm gonna go down each song and tell you what I personally thought about it. And I keep looking at the viewfinder, I'm sorry about that. But overall, I just want to tell you my experience with it, what songs I knew prior, and then just listening to the whole album as a whole, what it made me feel like. So the first song was Welcome to the Family, and there is singing throughout, and there are weird vocal effects on the song that actually seems to happen throughout the whole album. It's almost like a satirical manner putting all these vocal effects in the songs. But he still has that great fast Watsky pace when it comes to his rapping skills. From his beginning to now, he has that identifiable flow, and it's just something that he's capable of doing, and he does it well. You deserve love, basically. He's talking to this person, and at first, I thought maybe he was talking about, the fans, welcome to the family, like being part of it, but he's actually like saying, hello, will you be with me? I know it's weird, but hey, I like you, and I think it's like love at first sight. So I think that overall, basically in this album, he's just vulnerable and just trying to, keep this love going with this person. The second song is All Like Whatever. I've listened to All Like Whatever as well. I also listened to Welcome to the Family before, but All Like Whatever, I actually watched the video for. It was a strange video with people kind of controlling them and their sex drive kind of taking them towards each other. It has a really catchy hook, and I think the quality of the vocals overall throughout the whole album are very well done. There seems to be a little bit of strain on his vocals when it comes to the chorus. I look at you and I'm all like, when he does that part, and it's almost like he's really trying to, show his emotion for this person. But overall, I feel like that was an alright song. It wasn't my favorite on the album, but it definitely was a fun time. What Goes Up? There's a nice guitar at the beginning of this track, and then there's some background auto-tune that I don't like. With the chorus itself, the vocals I feel like are fun, and it has a little effect on it too, but the extreme auto-tune that comes after it, like the background vocals, I'm not really a fan of that, but overall I did enjoy the song itself. It's emotional, but I do feel like that auto-tune is distracting. The later verse in the song reminds me of a Tyler Joseph style of flow, and I'm a really big fan of 21 Pilots, so I appreciated that. It didn't really feel like a Watsky flow. It felt more like, just like the accent that he had on it too, it felt like a Tyler Joseph. And but basically I love the chorus of that song and I enjoy it overall. The fourth track on the album is F It Up. It sounds like a satirical song made kinda to be a counterpart to modern rap music, because really Watsky isn't the typical modern style rapper. He doesn't do the club hits or things like that. He basically just tries to make songs his own, but with this it almost felt like a satirical presence. The instrumental is fine. There's nothing spectacular going on with the instrumental, but it does sound like a stab at modern rap music. Number 5 is Mean a Drunk. There's auto-tune in that, but it's not as unbearable as it is for What Goes Up. Basically, I think that it has a really catchy tune, and I love the vibe of the guitar. There's the song, what is that song called? From Pulp Fiction. It kind of has that vibe. But I like his vocals when he says "except for me" in his rap, and what he's talking about in this song basically is that him and his girlfriend or whatever aren't on good terms because she drinks and then she makes him feel bad, and then he drinks, and it's just a toxic relationship overall, and he just feels like a bad person. And so that brings us to number 6, No Complaints, No Conversation. And that's just going more off that same subject, him feeling like he's awful and horrible because he loves this person, but it's a toxic relationship, and the toxic relationship, no matter what he does, it always seems like he screws up. And there's a part in the song where it's basically saying that the relationship is making him rot, it's making him not feel like himself, it's making him decay, and overall he just doesn't have a good feeling with the relationship anymore, no matter how hard they try or he tries. Number 7 is Feel Alright. Basically, I feel like this song has a lot to do with just losing hope in general, because in the first verse, he talks about Santa and what would he do if there was no good kids anymore. Nothing, because he's not real. There's no reason to think about that. And then there's this amazing rock instrumental in this song. It's probably my favorite instrumental throughout the whole album. I really love this instrumental, and it gives a big break for the instrumental as well. There's a big instrumental break just after the first verse or whatever, and it sounds very well done, and it's very catchy, and it feels nice, and it feels awesome. But then at the end of the song, it changes to an acoustic instrumental, and like an acoustic guitar instrumental, and it sounds like perfection. It sounds very beautiful. So overall, Feels Alright is probably my favorite track of the whole album. Now number 8 is Limo for Emos. And I feel like there is a chill vibe to it, and him saying that he'll be there for you. If you're sad, I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you no matter what you go through. I'll be there for you, basically. And he's just blatantly saying it. He's not putting it behind any metaphors or anything like that. He's basically just saying, if you're sad, come to me. You have a shoulder to cry on. And I think that this must be like after maybe they're departing or about to depart, but no matter what you go through, I'll still be there for you. Like, I still care for you, and I want to care for you. And also, I think that it could go even on a further level than that, and talking about his fans. Maybe he feels that he is responsible for people's happiness, and that's why in an alternative press interview that I saw, Watsky was talking about how he was kind of scared to make this album because he's more on focusing on the positives instead of negatives. But throughout this album, he just talks about negatives and talks about complaints and just talking about, in general, just sad moments through his life. This relationship that he was in must have really took a big toll on him if there's 9 songs dedicated basically just to the relationship. Now, Limo for Emos, I definitely felt like it was on an emotional level. I feel like it was basically straight to the point. If you want to hear it, you'll hear it. You don't have to just focus in on the lyrics and try to figure out what's going on. And number 9 is the last track, which is called Whitecaps. It's a very catchy tune. Basically, it's talking about preparing for the storm, preparing for the break, because he knows that they're about to fall apart, and they just need to, you know, hold on tight because it's about to hit him. But he's pretending it's all fine, and he feels bad for hurting her, and he just feels like maybe he wasn't good enough, or maybe he didn't treat her properly, or maybe just overall he felt like he could have done better. And so overall, this album itself is pretty sad. It's pretty emotional. And yeah, talking about Limo for Emos, yeah, that's a little blunt when it comes down to actually talking about it. And maybe he's trying to make a satirical message out of it as well, and not trying to make it feel so serious. But maybe he just feels like there's a lot of pressure on him, and he just wants people to know that they matter and that he cares for them. So Complaint is only 28 minutes long. It's a quick listen. It's probably one of the quickest albums I've ever listened to, except like short, well, like EPs, but that doesn't really count. So it's a 9-track album, and it's just showing the heartbreak of Watsky and this relationship that he was in, or maybe it was just a relationship that he thought of that, but I'm pretty sure that with the way that he was writing the stuff, it was on an emotional level, and it was about him. And overall, I think that the album itself, it's more emotional than the songs actually sound. The songs themselves almost sound abstract when it comes to the full, you know, presence or message of the album, because there are different styles of music throughout the whole album. Even though he does do rap majority of the time, the instrumentals don't always seem like rap music, just like when it comes to Feels Alright. Feels Alright is like, it's like a rock song basically. And I think overall this album could have been longer, but I think with how short the songs were too, there were no songs I don't think that even hit 4 minutes. So I think overall it was a nice quick listen, and it was fun to listen to. There was a few complaints that I had, but overall I think that this was a fun album, and it kind of reached me on an emotional level, especially more now that I'm actually talking about it and not just listening to it. So I think that I could kind of feel the way Watsky was feeling throughout the album. So I do enjoy this song, or this album, and I think I'm not gonna give it a score out of 10 or anything like that, but I do recommend listening to it. If you're not a Watsky fan, I still recommend listening to it, and also listen to his older stuff. It's fun. The album itself, it does talk about, you know, sadder material, emotional material, but I think overall with the presence of the instrumentals and just the way he raps and the way he talks and the way that he, you know, presents himself, it doesn't sound like an emotional album until you actually listen to the lyrics. So what did you guys think about it? Please leave it in the comments below. I'm sorry, I'm kind of under the weather today, so I wasn't able to talk very great, but I thought I wanted to share this video with you anyways. And also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, please leave in the comments below why you didn't. I'd highly appreciate that. And also, subscribe if you haven't already and you like this content. Please stick around. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.